All right, so today we are going to talk about 3 retargeting secrets to give you an unfair advantage. So let's take a look. For those of you that cannot see my screen right now, I'm actually pulling it up. So the very first one is thinking about combining sales outreach with ads. So what do I mean by that? So what you can basically do, if I wanted to keep this simple, is you can reach out to your prospects, and then in the signature section of your email, you can have a retargeting pixel. And so you can have an ad pixel for your emails, and then you can retarget people with additional content, right? Maybe you want to be helpful, or maybe you want to try to convert them, right? So you can do that. That's a nifty way to use your retargeting pixel. But a trifecta over here would be using an ABM, or account-based marketing solution, which is basically instead of targeting just one person at a company, you're targeting the entire account, the decision makers that might make sense. And use a solution like metadata.io to target your ideal companies. And then you can add your pixel to your cold emails. Metadata will actually plaster kind of LinkedIn, Facebook with targeting those people. And then you can retarget the people that have opened and then just continue to provide them helpful content, right? You know, a ninja thing you could really do actually is you can, let's say you're really trying to close Coca-Cola. So if they open your email, you're retargeting them with the value email on 3 things that they should be doing, right? That is super ninja right there. And number 2 might actually combine with this, but this is an idea from, I actually got this from Gary Vee, and I think it's super smart. So the idea here is that you are, again, let's focus on Coca-Cola. Let's say you're doing LinkedIn ads. Well, for Coca-Cola, you can target all the people that work at LinkedIn, okay? And whoever the decision maker is, whether it's a CMO, whatever, you can say, hey, does your CMO know about this certain value prop that you have, right? So does your CMO know that their SEO traffic is decaying? Does your CMO know that podcasting is set to be the #1 channel, right? So you might have 5 or 6 different value propositions. And what you do with the 6 is you actually make it in 6 different formats. So you can have, video, you can have audio, you can have written form. And so you have 36 pieces of content, and you just run these ads against who you're trying to win, okay? And then your salespeople jump on it, and then boom, you're good to go, right? So that is number 2. And number 3 is around, this one's actually fairly simple, but when you think about most websites, when you're retargeting, it's actually, let's say you're retargeting on Facebook, often your spend is inefficient because Facebook's trying to spend as much to make as much, but you gotta be, as an ad manager, selecting the right option for yourself. So the option that you should be selecting would be, daily unique reach, because a lot of websites, maybe they're getting less than 10,000, 5,000 visits a month or so. So maybe you have on your retargeting list, maybe you have 100 people or so. So you just run a campaign every day. You spend $10, $20 or so, but you're running a campaign just to stay top of mind, right? You can make it, let's say they visit your services page. Let's say you're an agency or something. Run a daily unique campaign, daily unique reach, and have the idea here is you're just trying to have an impression for each person, right? It's not going to cost you a lot of money, and it might generate a conversion, right? So that's the idea. Oftentimes, I think we try to go for retargeting, try to go for conversions, but if our audience is too small, it's not going to work out. So people often forget about, retargeting doesn't work for me, but it often does, right? And in many cases, assuming they're not visiting like a bottom of the funnel page, ideally there you're just trying to convert them, say, hey, come over to our website, come buy something or come fill out a lead form. But in a lot of cases, you're just trying to get them indoctrinated and give them more content. So as an example, what I would do with the Single Grain website, where we get about 300,000 or so visits a month, I know we have a lot of different pages. So we rank highly for podcast advertising. We rank highly for marketing funnel. We rank highly. And by the way, these are not necessarily services that we offer, but let's say we offered these services, right? Maybe if people are searching for podcast advertising, we do daily unique reach and say, hey, by the way, here's more content on podcast advertising, right? To get them into our world, come subscribe to our podcast, Marketing School. Or we actually have these services, right? So podcast advertising services, and that's basically it, right? Maybe there's a little logo that shows Single Grain, so then from a branding perspective, they understand that it's they're coming to that they went to that website, and now we want to have some consistency, right? Some other keywords that we might rank for would be like Los Angeles agency related keywords, and maybe that page only gets 30 or so visits a month or 50 visits a month or so, right? But it's a very the user intent's very high. So I would encourage you, if you have a site that you're ranking for a couple of things, think about what's the next progression, right? If you're ranking for like a top of the funnel type of keyword, like again, like a podcast advertising, or what is podcast advertising, maybe the next step is to send them more content, right? If you're ranking for like a marketing funnel, maybe the next step is like, hey, we'll build out your marketing funnel for you, or maybe we'll give you a free audit or something like that, right? But that's a creative way to think about how you can do retargeting for it. Look, people often say retargeting doesn't work for services. I'd argue it does. Services and products especially, right? So hopefully these 3 ways give you an idea on what you can do, and I do think at least one of these will give you an unfair advantage for the next 12 months. All right, so that is it for today. Don't forget to go to levelingup.com to get a free chapter of my book, Leveling Up, or you can go to your favorite online retailer, all right, Leveling Up, and just type in Leveling Up Eric Siu, and we will catch you later.